back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be making keto spinach cheese balls. But before we get into the video, make sure to give this video a nice thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. Alright, let's get started. So we're in November, and I figured since we're getting closer to Thanksgiving, if you celebrate, that I would start off with some appetizers for you guys to cook for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to have a few videos this week, just kind of a little mini series. Maybe we'll do some sort of dessert. Maybe we'll do another appetizer. You guys are going to have to wait and find out. Hint, hint. But today we're going to start off with some appetizers, some spinach cheese balls. Now these are going to be just 1 gram of net carbs. Now these spinach balls are going to be nice and cheesy and have a great texture, and they're also going to have that nice garlicky flavor, but they're also gluten-free, so they're going to be great for all of your guests that have any kind of intolerance or just don't eat gluten. So what is a spinach ball? Now a spinach ball is an appetizer that's really popular around the holiday time, so around Christmas, Thanksgiving, but I mean, to be honest, you can have these whenever. Like, it's technically not Thanksgiving yet when I'm filming this, and I'm totally gonna munch on these. So all it really is a cheese ball. I'm using mozzarella cheese, so grated cheese. You're gonna have some garlic, some herbs, and some eggs, and it's like pretty much it. There's not much to it, but the flavors work really well. I can't talk today. The flavors work really well, and they're just super versatile. You can have them just on their own. You can dip them in different sauces. You can dip them in a spicy sauce, a cheesy sauce, a tomatoey sauce, guac, whatever it is that you guys like. So I'm going to have 2 different recipes down below in the description box for you guys. So one of them is going to be the original recipe, and the other one is going to be the keto version that I'm making today. So the original recipe is going to be using panko crumbs as a binder, and the keto recipe is just going to be a little bit healthier. So it's just going to be a little bit healthier. We're going to be using almond flour here instead of normal all-purpose, and we're going to be using psyllium husk for our binder instead, which has a lot of fiber, instead of our panko crumbs. But it doesn't really matter. You can use whichever recipe that you guys prefer. They both taste really, really good. So let's go over our ingredients today. So our first ingredient, the main ingredient, is going to be our spinach. Now you're going to be needing 6 cups of spinach if you're using fresh. Now you can use fresh, frozen, whatever it is that you guys have on hand or whatever you prefer when you go buy it at the store, but do keep in mind that the measurements are just going to be a little bit different. So to keep everything cohesive and nice and easy for you guys, you want to make sure that you're measuring your spinach after you've already cooked and drained everything. So that 6 cups of the fresh spinach is going to yield about 2/3 cups of cooked, drained, and chopped spinach, and that's exactly what we need. Then we have our eggs, just 3 eggs, nothing crazy going on there. Then we have our grated mozzarella. Now you can use whatever cheese that you want, but definitely a hard grated cheese is going to work best here. So your mozzarella, your Parmesan, or your Kobe Jack, but technically you can use whatever cheese that you guys want, but those are just what's going to work best for this recipe. Then we have our almond flour, or if you prefer almond meal, you can use that. Now if you haven't seen it already, make sure to check out my video on how I make almond flour or almond meal. I'll make sure to link it on the screen or somewhere in the description box for you guys. Then we're going to be using whole psyllium husk. Now this is going to be 100% fiber. This is going to act as our binder and give us a nice texture and kind of make sure everything sticks together and forms our little cheese balls nicely. Now don't use Metamucil powder. Now this is a husk, but it's definitely different. I would not recommend using this type of supplement in any baked goods unless you want them to come out really dry or blue or even purple. It's going to be crazy. Don't do it. Then we have our fresh herbs. Now this is optional, but I think fresh herbs taste great with literally any and everything. Now I'm using parsley here, but you're more than welcome to use dill or even cilantro. You could use basil too, but I mean, if you're gonna go crazy, I would just use all of them and mix them all together. Then we have our garlic and our salt. So I'm using just granulated garlic powder, and you can, if you want, use actual garlic salt. I'm not going to use that, and I'm not going to use salt just because I feel like I just get enough of that salt in my cheese. If you prefer more salt, you can always add some. You can sprinkle some at the end right before serving. You can choose a cheese that's even more salty. That's really up to you guys, but I'm just gonna opt out of adding more salt. I don't see the reason. So without further ado, let's get into making these keto spinach cheese balls. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do, of course, is preheat your oven. We already did that to 370 degrees and get some hot water boiling for our spinach. Now I'm just gonna grab a bowl, take our spinach, so now I'm just going to rinse off the spinach and trim it, and then I'll show you guys what we're gonna do next. My mountain of spinach, okay. So, I'm gonna throw away all the stems and the trimmings. I'm just going to put this all back into our bowl. Our oven is preheated, our water's already boiled, so I'm just gonna grab that. Okay, so all we're going to do is put the boiled water into our bowl with our spinach. Okay. Just gonna give this quickly a stir. To make sure all the spinach is getting wet. And now since I don't have a lid for this, I'm just going to use some oil. And we're just gonna let this sit for about 3 minutes just till everything's cooked, and then I'll show you guys what we're gonna do next. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes. Now all we're going to do is we're going to rinse our spinach in the sink with just some cold tap water, and then we're going to drain it just using our hands, and we're really just gonna squeeze all of that liquid out of the spinach. Okay, so I just have taken the spinach leaves just to a strainer, and I'm just squeezing them in the sink just to get all of that excess water out of there. But we no longer have the hot boiling water, so they're not gonna be cooking anymore. Okay. So this is where you should have your 2/3 cup of that cooked spinach now. Now if you decided that you're going to be using frozen spinach, then you're just going to want to defrost it and then do the same exact thing and just make sure there's 2/3 cup. So now we're just going to finely chop our spinach. I can't believe that whole bag turned into this. Let me move back so you guys can see a little bit of what I'm doing. Okay, so we're just going to take our spinach and then just finely chop it. And then we're going to add it right back into our mixing bowl. Why I'm using this knife, I don't know. Should have definitely used a bigger one, but man, back in the day, I feel like I would never eat spinach like this. Now I feel like I can just grab this up and scoop and eat it just like this. And you'll notice as you're chopping, you're gonna have more moisture come out. That's perfectly fine. We're just gonna scoop this off the top and put it in our mixing bowl anyway, so all the excess juices are just gonna go right in the sink. All right, grab my bowl. Gonna take spinach, give it one last squeeze. Ew. We're just gonna put that right in, and I'm just going to take our cutting board, flop that in the sink since we have all this liquid. Oh. Okay, so now it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. So we're gonna add our egg, our husk, or our panko, whatever it is that you guys decide you want to use, our flour, and our garlic powder. whatever herbs you guys decide that you want to use, and your cheese. So now this is a 100% plant-based mozzarella cheese, so there's no dairy, gluten, or soy. I'm just gonna grab about a cup of this. Now, this is so delicious. This actually I found just right in my local Stop and Shop. Okay, so now I have a baking sheet just lined with some parchment paper. We have all of our ingredients inside. Now we're just going to start mixing this until everything is well combined. Smells amazing. Spinach with the cheese and just a little bit of that garlic powder. Now if you find that your cheese balls are a little bit too moist, then all you're going to want to do is add some more of your flour, almond flour, whatever flour you're using, or some panko or the husk. Now you're just going to want to be able to kind of have these stay into nice tight little balls without falling apart or anything, like in my Energy Bites video, like the protein little bites that I make, just like that. Check this out. Oh, where are you guys? So good. Okay. So now, as always, I'm going to use one of these little scooper things and start forming our balls. Now, this, as always, is going to depend on the size of the balls that you're making, but you should get about 20 to 1 inch balls from this recipe. Well, not necessarily 1 inch balls, but like 1 tablespoon balls. So, let's grab one. Let's see how we're doing on our consistency. I mean, they're staying in their balls. Alright, I think we're pretty good. Now I know there are loads of you out there who like to make at least your appetizers ahead of time, so I know you're going to ask, can you do that with these? Now of course, all you're going to do is exactly what we're doing right now, except when you're done, you're going to put them on a plate or on the sheet, whatever it is that you guys want to use. You're going to put them in the freezer for about an hour. And then once you do that, they're going to be frozen enough where you can transport them into another airtight container without them all sticking to each other. And then you just leave them in there. You can freeze them for actually up to 3 months. But there's no defrosting that you have to do when you guys want to get these ready. You don't have to put them in the microwave or anything. You just plop them right in the oven like you normally would and you'll be good to go. Now these, like I said, will go so good with a sauce. If you want to dip them in a sauce, pour sauce over them. You can use anything, tomato sauce, like I said, guac, a mustard even, or of course, tzatziki sauce. I mean, it goes good with everything, right? So if you guys haven't seen it already, make sure to check out my video on how to make your own classic traditional tzatziki sauce right at home. Gotta make this Greek somehow, right? Okay, so using that little scooper, I actually got 30 of them instead of 22. So I'm just going to put these right in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes just until they're golden brown, and then we're going to get ready to try some. Okay guys, so we're all out of the oven. I started it at 20 minutes and then they were browned, but I just wanted them a little bit more crispy, so I just added another 5 minutes to that. You can go all the way up to a half hour, but that's just going to depend on your guys' oven, if you have gas, if you have electric, whatever it is that you have. But you should have something that looks like this. It's time to try one. I mean, technically I already had one before. so good, you guys. It definitely just gave it that extra crunch, leaving it in there a little bit longer. So, so good. It doesn't matter if you decide to go with the panko or the husk. You're just going to want to let that just sit in for just a little bit to get nice and golden brown and crispy and then soft on the inside. Okay, well, that's all I have for this video today, you guys. I hope you liked it and I hope you learned something new. If you did like it, make sure to give this video a nice thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell so you don't miss another one of my videos. If you want to get my exclusive nutrition tips, healthy food recommendations, and delicious recipes just like this one, then make sure to head over to my description box, click the link, and join the fam. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.